Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slain. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7.
Hello, hello. Oh, we don't have music. We've got music. Won your 9th fog game today. You're 9-0. Well, I'm glad all my tips and tricks are helping you out. That's good news. Adding games to the list. We have a new. It's been a little while since we have Glowy Box. Probably had a game against the one who snipes. Max versus Eagle. Your third or so. No, Habits got first from the phone. Very impressive. Static. Okay, good. Glowy Box, you get to be Yellow Comet. There you are. Well, it's been a while since we've seen this map. The pipe seam that kind of gets broken really quickly, and this very contestable comm tower if both players try to do so. Although I guess Max has some problems with that since his artillery is not nearly as good. I mean, from this side, you could still lock it with an artillery, I guess. Yeah, you can set. Yeah, anyone can submit anyone's game. No, I understand Habits. I understand. Such is the pain of. I mean, technically, I get off work at 3, get home, have an early dinner, and then go straight to streaming. So you know, our schedules just don't line up anymore now that I have a job. Anyone can submit replays, no worries. Yeah. Well, once I go into grad school later in the summer, maybe I'll be able to do something. Yeah, anyone can submit replays. I don't pay wallet. Hi. It'll be the education path in grad school. Basically, they want you to have a degree in the subject you'd be teaching, and then they teach you how to teach. And I'll have a higher starting salary because I already have experience in schools. Yeah, you just Discord me. You just DM me the downloaded replay in Discord. Way to go. I work as a paraeducator. Yeah, I work as a paraeducator. I work in special education, and currently I'm a sub. Making my way through all the schools. I might decide to settle down in one of them. Before I was a paraeducator at an elementary school. So I've done a fair bit of special education. And before that, I was a caretaker for the state for 3 years. I've got a knack for kids. I did get your submission, Advanced Warrior. Discord was being weird and not letting me download anything until I already submitted the replay queue to the description, and then it let me download stuff. So if you're in the you have access to the patron Discord, so you can see the full queue. You want to be a professor? Having a PhD would definitely help being a professor. Well, thank you, Big Breedy. I do my best. Can I teach penguins? I've interacted with, well, I am a penguin, and I've interacted with other penguins, but they aren't as easy to teach as you would hope. Okay. And I went to a retro gaming expo, but they didn't have any handheld game setup, so I couldn't hustle people at Advance Wars. They had up to the Xbox 360. They had down to the first Pong and stuff like that for you to play on for free, but no Game Boy Advances and no Game Boy Advances connected to each other. I was hoping I could just crush some people in person, but no luck. Was a ton of fun. Would recommend if your city has one. Anyway, we'll hop into this. A Chloe box playing as Max against cbeluze. I don't know how to say it. Against Eagle. The Game Boy Advance is definitely retro enough. They had people selling independently made Game Boy Advance cartridges, like their own games, but they didn't have any Game Boy Advance set up. Yeah, Max has some trouble with the pipe seams, but overall the map is indeed kind of open. There's this over here is pretty choky. There's definitely a lot of artillery play that has to happen here, but Max should be able to break through. We'll see how it develops. I would probably favor Eagle. I mean, the airport's kind of bad, but both Max and Eagle like the airport. Having access to the artillery on this map should be good. Well, yeah, if Max is able to get the fight over here, then Max will be pretty happy. But if you're fighting here and your opponent's like, well, I actually just want to take both comm towers, then you're going to be a little sad. I mean, I think Olaf is probably the best on this map. Ooh. I know Voice of Akasha played a game on this map. Okay, so far the openings are looking pretty sensible. And well, if Chloebox wants, can try and contest this comm tower. You have the tank built over here. Go for a much faster central capture here from Chloebox in comparison to Eagle. Eagle might not even end up getting any of these captures if Chloebox is really on it with the tank pressure. You can see that here's the artillery that Eagle has backing up this comm tower capture at the same time threatening this pipe seam. So Chloebox is not going to be interrupting this, which is fine. And we have a tank built by Eagle to match Max's own, which is now standing here blocking the city from being captured. Imagine we're going to see Eagle take a step forward and interrupt this capture. Like so. Just because there's no backup infantry. There's also no backup infantry for either player, so the fight will go on. We have another artillery built by Eagle, as well as double tanks over here. So Max can definitely do some bullying. This tank does cover this tank. We will have the opportunity for Eagle to go for a first strike from this city at the same time as getting a first strike right here. This infantry probably shouldn't be standing right here. I don't really want to allow that strike from the road. It's not the worst thing though, because this is the one base side and it will very quickly become very hungry for infantry. So if you can trade out an infantry, because you got these two that can back up and hit, then it should be favoring the two base in the long run. So Eagle will get this nice first strike, but if Max wants to, can just sacrifice this tank in and then finish off that tank with having two tank backups, being able to generate more of them at a faster rate than Eagle can. And the artillery can break this pipe seam next turn. We're going to be floating 5k. Eagle, I'm not quite sure why this tank went back here, or this infantry. I guess it's to stop this tank from wrapping all the way around, but we have this infantry that can just clear this, and then this tank can strike. Oh, we can go back home. That works too. I keep this guy alive rather than trading out. I think I would probably favor trading out, because it's two bases versus one base. You can always produce more than your opponent can. I would definitely, if nothing else, kill this. We're going for the capture is also fine. I would much prefer to kill the infantry because of that being on the one base side, so the infantry count is very scarce, and it also blocks this tile from being used to from this tank. So I guess this guy can wrap all the way around if he wants to. We have the artillery push starting to come in against Max. Okay, we have a little infantry wall set up here and a medium tank bot. We could try and do some sacrificial plays here. I don't think Max is going to do that, just judging by how the game's been going so far. We have an interrupt here. I'm just going to go for these fights. I do agree with attacking these infantry. You can see now there's so few. There's one healthy infantry over here. It can't even reach the wall. And the instant these infantry can't wall anymore, then you can go for some nice, like, 2 hits to clear the tank off the city and then put an infantry on the city and then get that strike back anymore. Ooh, we join the infantry together in order to get tank infantry. The medium tank is busting through this pipe seam. It's going to do it in 2 turns. But the artillery push from Eagle is making some serious progress. It's not enough progress to make up for the economic edge. Seems that Max has gotten going for the that early center. But it's looking like it's going to start doing so, because this is like a nightmare for Max to deal with. You know who you're rooting for. Try this right now. There we go. We have a sacrificial attack. Weirdly, I think this is a sacrificial attack you don't actually have to go for, because this tank doesn't need this tile, right? It can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and hit from this forest, and then this guy can go heal up, and this tank can finish it off. Yeah. So, very weirdly, the one time that they go for the sacrificial attack is the one time they don't need to. We do decide to interrupt this. It's kind of okay. We trade in infantry for like 2k denial of income swing. It kind of hurts because this front really needs its infantry, but at the same time as Max, it's kind of, how do you even stabilize against the incoming artillery? And I guess you could just delay until all of these tanks can just front switch down. Team tank gets its swing on that poor tank, but it's barely surviving. And the reason you'd go for sacrificial plays, kind of like with this one, usually it's for tempo reasons. It's you want to like break through this turn rather than wearing them down over several turns. Because if you like break through over here like 2 turns ago, that frees up the army to do other things, such as come down here and save this low in base that's in so much trouble. We are getting some nice damage in the center. And then this medium tank just has to be walled off against. You can see that the unit count for both players on these 1 base sides is getting really low. I don't really favor this setup. I guess it's okay. This tank can break through here, and then this medium tank can get a first strike, but it's a max tank on a city. Or medium tank on a city, so probably letting the first strike happen. The 3 health infantry could block here, but then the 5 health infantry could probably clear it. Not a real block. Okay, we're just gonna back up here as Eagle. Getting kind of close to the power. Max will, or at least I would imagine, get the power first. Got the anti-air to deal with these copters. This one anti-air with an Eagle super can easily bop 2 copters. And as Max here, you're just looking for any way to break through and kill off these artillery. You think it's ideal to fight away from the artillery? Yeah. The idea is you fight away from the artillery until you have a big enough army to come over and just kill it. Because you can't let the artillery just take your base out. But if you can just like damage race them, some attacks over here. This tank can hit from the city, and then the artillery can cover for it. So far, looking okay. Here goes the tank strike. Artillery kills off infantry. It's fine. I mean, there's lots of ways to kill that far infantry off. This exchange isn't so bad. Fortunately, this artillery doesn't actually cover this tank. So Max should be able to pull this off. The artillery didn't actually guard down here. So It's looking like we're going to have a pretty decent max super coming up. Doesn't reach. This medium tank just barely gets out of range. And because Eagle's kind of abandoning this base, it might be that Max is going to get the first base kill. I mean, these two copters are going to be a real problem, though, once the Eagle super comes around. We do end up using the Max super here. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a back off turn and just go for these captures. Oh, the normal power. Never mind, not the super. This one maybe shouldn't be gone for, but there's enough infantry over here that it's perfectly fine. Let's start a fight. An infantry fight. The copter needs to run farther away. I guess the copter actually can't even run far enough away. The anti-air will always reach. So, Eagle's definitely going to be using the super this turn, and it's going to be mighty painful. Team Tank decides to go down here. Okay, it's no longer looking that painful of a super. In fact, Eagle's not even going to go for it. Okay. Well, that's really good news for Max. Because now these captures are just going to go through. More threatening there. And now it's just like only this medium tank over here. Copters. Trying to fall back here. This is dead. I think you have to build just an infantry here, even though that's so... That feels so bad. You can't really let Eagle just walk up to artillery on the forest and the plains and then pop the super and clear your medium tank. Seems painful. Dive it on in here. Looks like the anti-air is not going to get hit, though. It might get hit. Well, if it doesn't get hit, I guess there's two of them. Then these copters aren't going to be quite so free to do these attacks. The lightning strike. I think this tank lived. It's still blocking the way for this moving tank. Oh, this guy actually survived. Oh wow. Okay, I thought he was super dead. Copter got wiped out though. This really isn't so bad for Max. Considering there will be a counter super here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so the anti-air is fine. So both of these copters will go down. The double medium tank is definitely going to be a problem. But I think that could have been much more painful. So super needed. Anti-airs, and there's still a ton of infantry around here. They can just kind of surround the medium tanks for now. Oh, they're not surrounding the medium. I would surround the medium tanks. You don't want to let these guys just freely attack your anti-airs. So you just surround them so they can't go anywhere. You can definitely use an Eagle super defensively. Losing these anti-airs will be painful. It's painful for two reasons. Now there's no way to deal with copters that get built, and they got taken out way over here near the opponent's base, and all the units are kept in. a join cap attempt on this, but it doesn't look like there's quite enough backup here for Eagle. Stop it from being cleared. So I guess both attacks got thwarted, except that Max came out 5k richer in income. Way down unit value currently. And things go after the artillery. Very nice. Just out of anti-air range. We have to run away. Okay. This is where you see like the one base side's really hurting on the infantry. So even though Eagle's thoroughly beaten back Max, these cities still aren't going to be captured very soon. So it'll heal up to 10 next turn and capture this turn, or we can start capturing it for 3 turns here. It's a lot of money that Max gets just because there isn't the ground left. We diving forward over here. Looks like this medium tank attacked the pipe seam. Okay, going for the artillery strike. Do hit that city. A lot of injured tanks, but they're still very effective against injured infantry, injured tanks, and artillery. We have a Neo tank built. Usually Max doesn't want to tech up because having that extra firepower that he has, having the same type or same tech level units can win those fights. But I mean, a Neo tank will definitely beat up medium tanks. The risk is that it really kind of authorizes Eagle to save up and build a bomber, because the bomber on the super turn will kill a Neo tank and one other thing and just get some really good value. But at the same time, Eagle is down 5k, so it is an expensive buy. Or Eagle could just try and use a bunch of artillery, but that's a little bit harder against a Neo tank. I have definitely used Eagle normal power. Okay. We have a front switch going on here. Wow. Eagle just uses the normal power and resigns. I am surprised. The front switch from Max was definitely doing a number. But at the same time, the Eagle, it's not like Eagle wasn't doing stuff up here. And like, unless that normal power was an accident, if that normal power is an accident and then the resign is because of it, that makes sense. But otherwise, it looks like Eagle's still in this game. Although definitely down a lot in income. There's so many decisions you didn't think about. Oh, no worries. I mean, I think you played very well. Income is just army later. It's true. It's true. But when you're Eagle, you can get away with being down quite a bit. Ooh. Do I think Eagle's normal power and dual strike is broken? Yes. That's the last stuff in dual strike that's broken. It's hard to psychologically get over the income. That's true. Hey yo. Dark Raider and steel plates. Sonja versus Andy. I really don't like playing as Sonja in this matchup. Did the stream die? Check. It says it died 6 minutes ago. But it seems fine now. Unless Advanced Warriors 6 minutes. You finally made it to 1,000 MMR. Congratulations, Brennan. Playing Eagle is mentally taxing. I agree. I agree. Sonja deals a lot of psychic damage, though. True. The reason I don't like playing Sonja against Andy is because you often miss out on killing units because of your negative luck. And that means that Andy units just get to heal. Also, Andy can kind of attack Sonja on her super, just because oftentimes first strikes deal like 5 damage depending on terrain. And then then Andy just heals it up. Sonja's OP versus the website server, that's true. All those forests and mountains, I mean, sure. We'll see how it goes. Moving out to be pretty much the same opening. No, Steel Plates is going straight to the corner. Dark Raider is doing a double city skip. I like this by Dark Raider. Like, you do a double city skip, but it gives you a triple city chain. It does make this guy kind of awkward. It kind of makes me, this is kind of weird to say, but it makes me want to not have this be an infantry. And instead be a vehicle? Because then this guy can go for this and this. But maybe, like, the play is even deeper. Maybe this guy's rushing these two cities. I don't know. Very fast recon. No. Okay, see, now I don't like it so much. And this is why I wouldn't want this guy to be here. Because now this guy got one capture and then does nothing else the rest of the game. Could just have this guy, like, swap this order. And then this is the guy that goes here first. So that you can, like, move forward. Get more captures sooner. And then a later guy goes for this corner. He doesn't know what an airport is. You think the psychic attack's gonna do much? Are there any other COs that can safely attack Sonja counterbreak units? Sonja? Well, yeah, Sonja can do it as long as she's winning the rock, paper, scissors. Pretty much anyone can do it as long as they're going for attacks that would be fine if they got struck first, such as tank on infantry. Andy can just do it with same type units and be pretty happy. The psychic damage due to lack of knowledge. You played this map in standard? Standard live without a seam at the airport? Like a weird. This doesn't look like a very great standard map. Maybe when there's no pipe seam it's easier? Wants to DM the Advanced Wars D&D campaign. Yeah, that's not where you want to be. Oh, and then over here, yeah. I missed it. Go back and see. Yeah. I've said this a few times. You really don't want to put your infantry next to the city you're walking towards, because now you're on poor terrain and you give your opponent good terrain to strike you from. So if you can, you'd want to be like a tile back. That way, your opponent at least doesn't get to strike you from the good terrain. It might make them very hesitant to even go after you. What if there's a tank around? I could smack him. Okay. Spot the infantry that's striking the city, and we have tank chain going on here. Ooh. Andy with their own recon strike. Good. We're gonna strike from the forest. I'm not a huge fan of this one. It kind of works out for Andy, but in general, if you can avoid going for one-on-one trades with Sonja on a city, you'll be better off just because she has that stronger counterattack. Cool. This is just going to be a tank for tank trade. It kind of favors Sonja because now Andy's down a tank. It's a tank for tank trade because this tank just gets finished off. Ooh, I like this play from Dark Raider. Sees all the tank, or I guess saw the tank and recon over here. I don't think saw the tanks move down here. Maybe anticipated that they did, so started a fight with the recon. Oh my gosh. Never seen such brutal recon violence. I would change this a little bit. As we saw last turn, Dark Raider is going to try and go for a 2-hit KO on this tank. So just put something here. So just put this infantry right here. You have a wall, and this tank won't die. That's really good because you're Andy. And you want your tanks to survive to be healed up later. Well, I guess this guy clears down here anyway, so I guess there'll be another tank for tank trade. It's even in quotes. An even unit exchange, but it's worse for Andy to lose units. That is not where I would have gone. So here, tank kills tank, copter hits tank. The reason I would do that, although I don't know, I can understand. This is just gutsy to go for, I guess. Somehow this anti-air doesn't cover either of these tiles. I guess he was anticipating a strike down here. It could be that Steel Plates is just worried that there's an anti-air governing the city, but not this tank. If you're looking at counterattack damage, you'd much rather have a copter. Somehow this copter has threaded the needle, though. So there you go. Here. Around with the tank attack. Now the anti-air is covering this tank. If Steel Plates decides to stick around, like hit this, but then not put something strong enough on the city, there isn't anything really strong enough around here, so that is a dead copter. Unless it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Well, maybe if this 3 health tank went here, it would actually be able to hold. Yeah, probably not. I think tank plus 5 health recon probably kills this. Yeah. Oh, down goes the copter. We have the artillery in place here. Ooh, and then Sonja goes for the counter break. Try and preserve the anti-air self-keep. Gives some nice vision. Sees that there's basically nothing over here. Copter's moving on in. Andy goes straight for the hyper upgrade. Will allow kill on that anti-air. It's a very aggressive. I do not like that. He's just gonna get killed off. Okay. The hyper upgrade let Andy kill an anti-air. I probably would have saved that for a little bit better payoff. I definitely would not have dived forward with those infantry. Can't really afford to lose your frontline infantry like that. Why does Sonja have a high win rate on Ardennes? I don't know. I don't think I remember Ardennes. Oh, but more like, do I start watching a lot of my replays to look for mistakes? Take more times for your turns? Well, you should always be looking at your replays for mistakes. Or you can look at other people's replays for inspiration if you want to play. Okay, Steel Plates comes in here with the copters. You have a backup copter from Andy that just barely doesn't die to anti-air. Okay, so we do come in off these guys. We have a lot of tanks here. Dark Raider. Here. Even in income, I thought Dark Raider would be a little bit ahead in all the fighting. Just gonna rely on some blocking to try and keep copters alive. But Sonja mech. Both Sonja and Andy have, pretty good mechs. He loses a lot of vision there, but we'll be able to kill off compensation. Oh, this poor copter got suckered into range of this anti-air. The anti-air is mighty far forward. It is on the missile platform. It does have a backup anti-air, so it's not quite so bad. Almost all the units are down here. The copter. Let's take this as the backup. Copter kills tank. That is probably not worth it. You can see the anti-air copters and stuff over here. I would much rather just kill off this anti-air, preserve with the tanks, and preserve the copters. You can let the city go. I mean, assuming you're going to win this fight, which it kind of looks like you would if you kill this off and that copter doesn't die. Then you can just take this. And keep marching forward down to a single infantry over here. We have some captures down here, and the Andy super pretty much guarantees this unless the anti-air decides to strike. The anti-air looks like it wants to. Copter mech strike. Anti-air kills copter. I guess we can't get to this one. So if your anti-air can't get there, then just go down here. Stop this one. So very nice. But don't attack that infantry. You knock it down to 6, it just heals back up to full. Assuming Andy's going to use the super. Andy might just hold on. In which case, that's fine. Recon moves right into this artillery range. Very nicely set up by Dark Raider. Andy did use super. Way too aggressive with these copters. I guess it's the idea is that it's going to block the Neo. I don't think the Neo tank was known about, but it does block the way of the Neo tank. And it's just, so it still dies to anti-air copter. I guess you can't put it here because this anti-air would hit it. Yeah, that makes sense. Recon survives at 1. Neo tank comes through, kills off the anti-air. Really nice little blocker by Dark Raider, who's now really far ahead. Units. And this Neo tank doesn't have answer for it. Dark Raider at this point. Could be pretty much good to go, assuming you can get a few more infantry on the front lines to actually capture stuff. This is a base light map, so running out of infantry, very possible. And because Dark Raider had so few infantry on the front lines, this push got slowed down a ton. While the Neo tank on the road, but we do a breakthrough and hit the artillery. That's pretty good. I guess this guy's probably safe. This Neo tank can come in and hit from the city. I don't know if it even wants to do that. It wants to do that, okay. The reason I was like, I don't know if it does, is that's kind of far into enemy territory. Okay, the Neo tank does die, which is nice. It's a lot better than the Neo tank living and getting healed by the super. I don't like this attack on the tank. Is technically real damage because it's below 5 now. This looks like it's going to be a very nasty turn. He gets the super. After the anti-air with the copter, okay. You have 1 infantry going for a capture here and a follow-up bomber on the way. Copter smack, tank smack. Clear up all of the infantry at the top. Runaway Neo tank. Pretty much just runaway army. I can agree with running away. Safety of the bomber. You have a Sonja super to be used. And 7 infantry versus 7. Again, there's not very many infantry here for Andy, so even though the army's kind of controlling these 2 cities, there's no way to just take it. So Sonja bombers are kind of meh. They do miss out on some very important one-shots because they get unlucky, but they're amazing when... I mean, they're not kind of meh. They're amazing when Sonja has her super up because they're immune to anti-airs, but they're kind of meh in that they miss on one-shots. They're expensive and they are a lot of trouble with fighters, which Andy loves to have. But assuming Andy doesn't get a fighter, the Sonja bomber will be really good in that it can attack, and then with the super up, it will first strike any anti-air that comes after it. What it's going to do here. Now the anti-airs can still take out the bomber if it's like next to a city, for instance. But it takes more than 1 anti-air to do a decent amount of damage. Okay, well, I really don't like that from Andy because the only anti-air over here, I guess there's one coming in from the top, is now on the... And Dark Raider knows there's no fighter, so this bomber is now just kind of super winning. It's going in and out for you. Okay, after this is a thunderstorm. After this game, I will reset the internet. Hyper upgrade. You're back. Welcome back. Medium tank, striketh tank. Diving through his anti-air. Two anti-airs here for one Sonja bomber, so it's still fine. And it will be able to pop the spa. I assume going and hit. And now it's not so fine because it's next to a city. But Andy won't have the super available because that was Andy's super turn. So we won't get like anti-air strikes from city. You can pop the super to heal kind of stuff. Yeah, this is where you would then heal with these. But if you can't heal them with Andy, not nearly so good. The bomber does its job. Oof. This is looking super GG. Dark Raider taking these cities now up 5k. Somehow this city has not been captured. The army has swept on by it. And Steel Plates resigns. Don't reset the stream. Could have just been a hiccup. Okay. GG. Where's the T-Copter love? We do have a T-Copter. I agree with the T-Copter play, especially on base light when you only have the two bases you can hop in and get those infantry in the front line, so you can actually get those captures going. Well played, well played. Got Daisy is my name versus Coffee Spoons. Only Go7 remains. This is a very fun map. Oh my. Oh, what's this map? This is a high funds map. Hope you guys aren't playing high funds. I thought this was... No, this is a different map. This isn't the high funds map. This is the map that Content was playing against, I think, Starflash. Started capturing here and could have interrupted it to take the HQ. Oh, we all missed it. Even when I was covering the game after I missed it. So I mentioned it in the comments. I have not played on this map, so I don't know. It looks... It looks very base tradey, like this lone base down here. This one up here, they kind of look like they're designed to die. I mean, I would not be surprised if this was a Elise map. Elise loves to have bases that are designed to die. Yeah, it's like that trend. It's like a mixed base, but it's supposed to transition into non-mixed. I guess this is how they're balancing the FTA because there's higher starting income, having all three bases in the HQ. I'm not a huge fan of the base siege says base race moves. It's very base tradey. And if it is base tradey, then Coffee Spoons has a really big advantage because you're dealing with properties, Kindle is a lot better than Lash. If you get stuck into some weird fight in the middle, maybe Lash is better. You want to join your bases, but you also want to rush HQ. Okay, we have a tank first. The center from Daisy is my name against a recon from Coffeespoons, built from the 1 base? That is very weird. The reason that's so weird is the 1 base is going to be very infantry starved. And also, you don't really want to make have your opponent building tanks on their 2 base side. That's kind of what this recon forces. You'd want to force your opponent to build tanks on their 1 base side because that stops them from building infantry, which slows down all their captures over here. Where if you force a tank on the 2 base side, they can still build infantry from the other base, so they can like fight you and still continue with their economy. I don't know what that recon's doing so far. It's running up there. A little bit of a central fight here. We might have this infantry decide strike here. It'd be a little gutsy. It would depend on how much is Lash willing to give up in order to try and stop this capture. That infantry should not have stuck around. You should just run back to a spot like here. That makes it really awkward for the Kindle player to try and kill it off. And you just get to keep your 1 health infantry as a blocker. Or you can heal it up. Nice little interrupt here from hitting that infantry on the HQ. This is if these infantry like start heading towards the middle and this tank like goes up here and then this guy goes down to the airport, then this will be set up almost exactly or like the exact same kind of win where he's just like, oh, I just don't finish my capture, I just start their HQ. Oh, Daisy is my name is like, I don't want to have my tank get first struck from the city because that's really painful. So I will force the tank to hit the infantry on the HQ. I think that's a very fancy play. The tank's forced to hit this instead of this guy, even though it would be a strike from the city, because the tank is the only thing over here that can hit this. And if you don't hit it, you'll just lose the game. And Daisy is my name stops that same kind of threat from happening by just striking this guy, interrupting the capture. I would be a little more forward with this tank, because if you have a tank chain, you don't care if they first strike you, because you'll win the fight. If they don't have a tank chain and you have a tank chain, then they hit you, and then your backup tank just kills them. Artillery gets here just in time to help with this. Okay, looks like Daisy, my name, is going to get this. Did copies. Ooh, very nice setup by Daisy's my name. Does get hit by the tank from the base. When you're on the HQ as Lash, that's as good as being Kindle on the HQ. So that was a very nice series of plays there. It was kind of forced too, because infantry starts capturing, the tank has to interrupt it, sets it up to be hit from opposing tank. clear that up, but then that city's definitely taken. Double tank buys, but these infantry ain't cleaned up. These infantry ain't cleaned up. Counts, not looking too hot. But really nice. Nicely done by Daisy over here. This infantry barely survives. This is covered by the artillery. It still looks kind of scary. Do this copter, that'll force Daisy out of these shenanigans. It's a double air. It's a little weird to go in for this attack here. Is this it? Like at best, it's a 7 health tank trade for a 5 health. If you get the kill, the artillery fires on you. Probably guarantee it by having the infantry killer here and then strike and kill it. What you might want to do, if you go for like this clear here, this kills here, then you have a nice threat of stepping onto this forest with this mech and then moving in with this tank. And then if the artillery tries to do stuff, you have a mech that's also threatening to go after it. Although they have a lock on things. I don't know. Oh no! Did go for this kill. Just need to go to a different spot with the tank. Okay, so we did go with the mech threat though. Nice. I think this is kind of sending good infantry after bad. This guy should probably run for his life. Otherwise, you're just losing 1 infantry. Urban Blight will save this city. Kill off that infantry. Urban Blight is so much better than terrain tactics. Mech follow-up. Copter doesn't quite help with this situation. We'll see how this goes down. There's a lot of tanks over here. They'd like to... I don't think 2 tanks can kill this infantry on the mountain with the power active, though. That's what you would need to do so that the mech can hit the free. Oh, it does get it with the attack from the forest? Nice. Okay. Well, that's nice. It does break through and hit. The mech strike from the mountain. That was during Kindle's normal power, too. Very painful. Off this infantry. Then if Daisy's My Name wants to stop this, it has to be this tank. Daisy's My Name might just let it through. Because there's like anti-air kills infantry, tank kills recon, tank hits from harbor on tank on road. And also this infantry kind of got offered up. Copter's coming in to try and save this front. We're so close to having a Lash super here. Lots of stuff getting killed off here. The Lash super would do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the full health tank strike from the harbor. Probably kill this guy in 1 hit. No Lash super for us. City will fall. But Daisy's My Name will still have more income even after that. The 1k. Copter has no answer to it. So it's going to type this off. The whole attack does get cleaned up. Pretty painful. We have a T-Copter. And then we have going for some strikes over here. It's just barely out of range of the tanks that matter, looks like it. Oh, the T-Copter's going to go for the comm tower. Copter going for a strike on the base. Very cheeky. Artillery got tagged by an infantry. The infantry survives, it's probably worth it. If it doesn't, then I'm not a huge fan. It doesn't survive. It does do 2 damage, but you really want the unit count. Space. Ooh. Copter decides to trade itself in. It's done definitely a good number, so if it wants to trade in, I think it can. This was a really weird attack. I don't know what coffeespoons was thinking. Are we just going to hit Urban Blight end of the turn? No. Okay, well, Daisy's My Name just pops the super and just like murders all of this. That was a very weird attack. Yeah, that's all dead. The dreaded Copter has been taken out. We are going to have the comm tower advantage for coffeespoons soon. By anti-air, we knew you will. I mean, this looks a lot like an overextension. I'm not quite sure why coffeespoons is so far in like Daisy Use My Name's face here. I don't think there's quite a need for that many sacrifices, but you know what? It looked fancy, so that's what matters with sacrifices. So many tanks. Coffeespoons goes for the Urban Blight. Has a medium tank over here. Actually got the city, so the income is now even. Got the comm tower sadly after all the fighting, but I don't think there's like one strike there. Gonna attack in here. Cheekily block this anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't block. It almost blocks. I think coming in from the top. Lash flows some cash, so we might be seeing something out. Oh, why you attack the artillery? Kill off the infantry. At best, like, the artillery just heals next turn. Anti-air. There's no more. Oh, there's this anti-air up here. No more anti-air in the south. Copter is pretty strong. Ooh. Very nice unit advantage that Daisy's My Name's been enjoying. It means that even though Coffeespoon like comes in and gets a kill with every unit, there's still enough residual stuff to just kind of like return with a wipeout. Ooh, if you had saved the super, that would have been impressive. We have Urban Blight. Deep dive Urban Blight, but all of the artillery got hit. Just kind of give Daisy My Name a nice strike from city though. Prime Tactics. Artillery is taken out. We're gonna start captures. Medium tank's alive at 1. Anti-air can kill it, or tower gets taken out. So many units. Infantry does it. Built another anti-air. I guess there are 2 copters incoming. This guy's pretty safe. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Wow, I guess I'm proven wrong that copter dove right on in there. Coffeespoons has resigned. GG. Once Daisy Is My Name got that unit count lead, it just never went away. I was very impressed with the sequence around this HQ. Coffeespoons kind of went way too ham at 2 parts in the game, and I think that really cost them a lot. Got Shecky versus Incuggarch. You got lazy when your opponent's super overextended. It does make your life a lot easier when they do that. Who submitted this Incuggarch game? I will give you a guess. Yeah. If there's a lot of fighting in the middle that favors Lash, that is kind of how it went down. Even before max artillery. Break. Okay. Surprised we're seeing a Drake. Cruisers are nice and all. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I guess the 7-move cruiser is really annoying for these airports. So it like incentivizes Incuggarch to just lock it in here forever. It does give you extra lander movement. Does that matter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it picks up the mech a turn earlier. Okay. Okay. You could play Sammy though. You have 2 airports though. I mean, you don't have enough money to build from both. You have 3 airports. You don't have enough money to produce from them all, but still. Well, Incuggarch has a choice here. It's either lock in this cruiser forever and never have to deal with it, or let the lander go on its merry way and the cruiser be free. Incuggarch is going to let the cruiser be free, wants that mech badly. Free. Lander for Shecky is ready to pick up this mech. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll be able to go for this harbor capture. Or Incuggarch could build a tank in time, I think. You always get a recon if Incuggarch would want to. You might see a recon. It's a little painful. It does stop probably 2 captures. Lander just blocks port. Lander does just block port. It doesn't even pick up the mech. Because it's too scared about the cruiser blocking this port, I guess. Okay, we do see the recon build. I think I wouldn't block the port. I think I would just keep the cruiser locked away as Max. Because it is going to be pretty annoying. Ooh. Time for the cruiser to prove its worth. Now, Incuggarch's cruiser is chilling at this harbor. Have the Shecky artillery moving out. Another recon. This recon feels like it's a turn too early. Maybe it's anticipating that Incuggarch is going to like slam in here with an infantry. Incuggarch's like, now that there's no infantry over here to go for the harbor, I will move my lander. Cruiser decided to chill on these reefs. It was probably a play you could do with like cruiser blocking and artillery blocking or something like that. Even a Drake cruiser doesn't really want to get one shot by a helicopter. Inject it. Go up here. Cruiser just wants to try and be annoying, I guess. Have the anti-air built. Look at all these recons from Max. Successfully denying this mech. Really wants to, could go in here and suck up the artillery shot. We might see that. You almost have copter kills or like hits artillery and then recon plus infantry kills this. Or no, I guess it would just be a recon and this infantry would stand here to block the fire from coming through. But I don't think you can quite do it. It just blocks at the harbor instead. Do we see the super aggressive recons down here? One. Incuggarch gets a little bit scared. Doesn't want to dive in with the recon, suck up the shot, but deny the capture. Well, it doesn't deny it, but slows it down. I guess this recon is still thwarting this mech. Yes, I mean, the Incuggarch mech is living its best life. That's kind of effectively doing the same thing as this one. Okay, so you can kind of overload this artillery, but the mech is, the mech is doing something here. Make that really awkward. Are going to try and break the tank back up. Copter. The copter is definitely an easier way of dealing with this artillery rather than just trying to overload it. I think this means, I could be wrong, I think this means that Shecky can finally get these captures if they want to. have the anti-air getting forced by this copter. If re-sacrifice itself, does delay this capture by another turn. So Shecky's going to get these captures way before Incuggarch does. Kind of goes for the smack. It does do 5 damage. That's pretty good. I think that was avoidable. Just a different layout. Fence there. But the mech... And this does also force the mech to make a decision between completing the harbor capture and striking a tank. Artillery backs up. Can't quite reach unless Incuggarch somehow gets a super. Oh, we do have a copter built by Shecky. The artillery gets her just in time to save that city. That's pretty cute. Incuggarch's up in income. Oh, it's this city right here. It must be more than just that city. What's the other? They both have one each here. Incuggarch's got these two. Okay. These 2 harbors. There goes the mech. So the mech decided to take the harbor rather than deal with the tank. That does give Incuggarch a ton of great hits here. And I mean, it kind of doesn't like if Shecky can deal with this infantry, then taking the harbor makes a lot more sense. If you can't deal with the infantry, then not so much. Incuggarch's like, I want to force this artillery to stay here rather than have it back up the attacks on this capturing. That's pretty cute. Okay. Very expensive interrupt. This is gonna let the recon finish and the tank follow up. I guess it's to force Incuggarch to give up this capture in order to beat up a anti-air. But I have a feeling that Incuggarch is very willing to do that. Can't even get away with building a replacement anti-air because this copter is going to be hitting this tank and the anti-air doesn't reach. I mean, Incuggarch is 100% stepping off. I don't know. X-Mac. Yeah, takes the harbor, makes the mech not going after the tank really sad. Now you would expect in this matchup for Max to kind of win. I'll just hit that there, but no, start winning in the early game until Drake can get a super off. But so you would expect Drake to be kind of falling behind at this point. Currently, you know, Drake is quote unquote ahead in income, but that's as far as the positioning is looking, that's not going to last for a very long time. Oh, what a fancy boost. Look at that. Outside of anti-air range now. It's not, I mean, it's, you know, it's just one of those quote-unquote outside of anti-air ranges. Incuggarch, at any time, Incuggarch can decide to just sack this copter into an anti-air and then suddenly have +1 move on everything. We're gonna preserve the copter and just attack with recons to do it instead, or just a tank strike here. That works too. Ooh, look at this. This is Incuggarch optimizing the power charge. I'm going to move the map out of it. So this tank will kill here regardless if the power is active or not. So Incuggarch is going to get this 700 extra charge before using the power. It's the little things. Ooh, you are fairly bad at killing anti-airs. But yeah, there goes the copter. I'm not sure why it had to go here. Not sure what was covering. It could have been popped out over here. Safe. This is a very, very annoying spot for this copter. For one, there isn't a healthy anti-air around to deal with it, but even if there was, it has to attack from the base and base skip to do so. While there's tanks like threatening. You don't really want to build an anti-air, but you're forced to build an anti-air. Such is the pain of the one base. Okay, we do have the Drake super here. This is where, in theory, the battle would start shifting to Drake's favor. It's very funny is if the Drake anti-air somehow lived this attack, it would have been absolutely devastating. It would have been blocking the base. What? This artillery is on a journey. Did it really not have a better thing to do? Chill over here? Is the plan to like lander here, artillery here? That doesn't even do anything. If you had a rocket with it, then you could go lander here, artillery, rocket here until the copter's built, I guess. Or is the base lock? You think it's going to be like coming in here? Just a really roundabout way? Oh, Shecky just resigns. I think that's fair. GG. You're getting the breakthrough with the power. And I imagine Shecky chose Drake just for the faster lander movement, but Incuggarch just locked it down with the recon. I think Shecky might have had to just bite the bullet on that and be like, fine, recon, you can fight my mech. With like backup on the way. Instead, the mech had like stood around forever. Well, Sammy's probably even worse. Because it's base light. And you know, you can see here that the infantry counts aren't super happy. So really well done by Incuggarch to deny so much stuff on this front. But already in mech? Yeah. Well, Sammy will just die, kind of like how this copter just ruins everyone's day over here. But I do applaud Shecky going for the spicy pick. When our base extra light maps, Copters are just a terror. Content beat you on this map as Sammy. Content is amazing. Well played, well played. I'm not sure how Shecky could have gone about that to win. I mean, you'd have to... The problem is you can't deal with the max copters, so you'd have to have your cruiser advantage actually stop the copters from coming out. Otherwise, they'll just dominate. You can better CO, yeah. Is Drake... On that map, you usually are going to use copters to fight copters, and Drake cannot do that against Max. Olaf could probably. Okay, right, Class versus P-Dog. Right? Okay, we will know Fred by their moonwalking capabilities. Fred going on a journey. Both players are going for a fast airport. We'll see if players... Nope, Class is not going to go for a fast Mountain City. P-Dog is also not going to go for the fast Mountain City. Fred's going on one of the safer journeys in this map, so should be fine throughout the game. So far, they're pretty much doing the same thing. P-Dog is going for a faster comm tower than Class. Nevermind was just going for a fancier route to this city. Ooh, we have an early transport copter here. And then Class just goes for an early copter. That does super deny this Mountain City. This is set up to pick up a mech. We have anti-air mech. We have these two infantry prepared to striketh down this one. Class dares to go for both mountain cities, which they do. I'm not sure what this guy is trying to do. I don't think this is captured any day. Any day ever. Okay, we do have a nice interrupt. The only place that this copter can strike here is from the city, which would give up Class's claim to it. Whoa, okay. P-Dog just lets this city go. P-Dog not have enough money to build. P-Dog only has 9k, so you can't go copter infantry. Could strike and bring a mech over. And you have a mech in infantry wars, and you're like, We'll see what this transport copter gets done. So, okay, we do have to give up that capture for a slight advantage in infantry health. But Class does get this one. Fred doing Fred's job. Okay. P-Dog gets the 2-hit KO. Transport copter blocks the strike from the city. Getting pretty good. Class has 2 infantry captured here. Okay, we have a tank, copter. All fighting here. So definitely pushing for control over this city. There's nothing that can interrupt here without a power, so P-Dog now gets one of the 2 mountain cities. And yeah, I kind of like this move as well. Just like, I'm not dealing with this. It looks nasty to fight. So I'll go strike where you don't have anything covered. Although, it does let this tank... It's just the tank get killed. Can't quite bring in the copter too. 5, 6. There it comes. Oh, the tank doesn't even go for the pickoff. It would be a little bit of an awkward position for the tank, for sure. But you know, sometimes you kill off. Can. Transport copter. I think it's transported the mech and then just served as a nice little blocker. You know, it's doing its job. Are mechs considered worse on average for base light? I don't think mechs get worse in base light. I mean, if your mech can trade with a tank, ever, it's good. I guess in theory, mechs would get somewhat better in base light because there's less infantry to threaten them. But I wouldn't say they're really that much better. You'd have to be a CO that likes them. I mean, as Sammy in base light, you build like an absurdly high number of mechs and copters and hope that your opponent blunders into you. Let medevac a 7 HP infantry too. Okay, well, there's only one unit that can interrupt this city capture, and that's Fred. I don't know if we're going to be setting Fred in. Depends on if the backup that B-Dog wants to commit is strong enough. And judging by these movements, it's not. So Fred might be just going for a little run. Yeah, run, Fred, run! Class does get this city and this city. Waiting for a little bit of an economic edge here. Ooh, this is a very classy block. The copters are walling against the tank side. The tank is walling against the anti-air side. Okay. You have an infantry sacrifice itself on here. And then, oh, P-Dog goes for normal power. This does let the mech hit a tank. Copter's not hitting anything. Well, let's the anti-air kill a copter. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Now this kills here, and then the anti-air can kill this copter. And down goes our fancy wall. It wasn't fancy enough. Mech does go for a tank smack. Fred got a kill. Fred was used first. Injured. That was a very nice breakthrough by P-Dog over here, thanks to the extra movement point. Have a good one, Advanced Warrior. Class. Kill off the mech. Decides to hit the mountain infantry. Clears it off. Copter comes in to hit the artillery. Interrupt this capture. Fred survives the turn. When there's a backup anti-air here. Okay. Probably gonna get blocked by a transport copter. Bunch of swings in here, but the vehicle count is looking mighty healthy for P-Dog on the left side. Okay. We do kill off this anti-air. Go for a little block over here. Don't know if this infantry being brought along is a good idea. Maybe it is. Oh, I see it. It has to be brought along, otherwise there's the triple infantry kills transport copter play. Although I think this tank can still clear this, maybe it can't. With the copter. Class does also have a normal power here. So this infantry can be very easily. Oh, I don't think that. Oh, I guess the tank can hit here. Yeah, that works too. Okay. Fred is still alive and should probably run next turn. Tank first strikes. I guess the copters are just running away. Okay. A sack into side slip. First strike. Anti-air tank. Strike. Looking pretty good over here still for P-Dog. Anti-air just kills an infantry. Let the tank go through. Fred steps back onto this city. Blocked by another tank. A little bit daring of that infantry. I feel like I think this infantry has to not attack. Otherwise, you've copter plus infantry kills this and then anti-air kills. Unless the plus 10 defense is just enough that it doesn't matter. Oh, wait, whoa! Oh no, this guy can just kill him. 4 health. Ah. Don't do it. Don't go after Fred. Fred has so much to live for. Whew. Get the Neo tank built from class. Class is up by 1k. Anti-air. Guy is gonna get bopped real well. Got these sides here. Dog backs on up with Fred way in the corner. Copters being built. That's a pretty good use. You could probably just go back and heal if you want, but if it gives you the side slip and then the side slip doesn't let the that's the Neo tank save this city. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good. Anti-air gets smacked. Back up a bit. There's a lot of kind of free kills over here. Dog enjoys. Fred's healing and approaching to capture the city in a couple turns. This tank went and attacked this 5C. There's some artillery, so we're not having like a Neo tank versus Neo tank fight here. It's gonna be lower tech versus higher tech units. The Neo tank is front shifting away from this. Yes, Fred is going for the capture. Fred's like the only surviving infantry from this entire front. Oh, doing a good job. We have the medium tank built over here. It's gonna get bullied by the Neo tank. We'll see. How these units get chased down. Poor anti-air. Save. Tank is gonna make a run for it. Copter strike. Doesn't look like a super favorable one. Eight. Perhaps we'd have to take a super to get the Neo tank to reach. Okay, Fred is gonna get this city. Good job, Fred. Copter, now goes the infantry. Neo tank is way forward. Yes. Looks like class is just like really trying to insist that P-Dog build a Neo tank. And that's why we have the bomber being built prophylactically. Speedog doesn't have the cash to build a Neo tank though. Oh, joins to build a tank. We'll see how well this bomber ends up. It'd be very tricky to keep them alive against another adder. You know, anti-airs getting speed boosts. Speaking of a speed boost, P-Dog goes for the normal power here. Kill off a copter. Strikes in here with a bunch of first strikes and goes for some captures on the same time. Fred will have captured so many cities. What is this? Or properties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th Fred capture, maybe? That's a valuable starting point. The bomber is coming for Fred. Oh, this tank's going to be Fred. One of these city captures is going to go. Bomber's here for EMT. P-Dog did save a lot of money, so I assume we're going to see a fighter. Although, I mean, double anti-air. It's not something a fighter really wants to get involved with. You think on the run. You think does just go for the anti-air. Gonna smack here. We had another one built. I guess the tank goes for the other one. Is he built? No, it goes for tank attack. You have the fighter being built. Double infantry. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if you look at this situation, it doesn't look good for Fred. Fred agrees, was so paralyzed by the incoming attack force, doesn't even continue capturing the property. And we also base skip. Oh, we don't. We get it. Okay. Just infantry, artillery. The Neo tank first strike. Luckily, it's a first strike into artillery range. Maybe Fred knew this. Maybe Fred was like, well, if I don't continue capturing, they won't attack me. So Fred's like, it's fine. You go after the tanks. You go after the artillery. Yeah, you can leave me alone. I didn't continue capturing. I'm not a threat. He became invisible. So many anti-airs. Class looks to be pretty well off here. Fighter does kill the bomber. And a lot of coverage. Class does get a lot of gets a lot of charge this turn. Weirdly, we have to move the infantry forward and then the side slip. I guess you didn't want to move any farther than that. The next come in for some damage. Does Fred make a run to the mountains? Fred's gonna run to the trees. Okay. I mean, Fred could have ran back to this city to try and heal. I guess Fred probably lived. Well, actually, probably not. There's 3 anti-airs here. I mean, this is probably the I think this might be the moment we need to look away. Look away! No, Fred! I feel like Fred should have ran for a different piece of cover there. He didn't want the anti-air closer to the airport. Okay. At least the artillery lives at 1, so we'll get a revenge shot. There kills off this infantry. More pickoffs happening over here. Pretty nice. I don't think there's any way to stop this attack. Big time to run away. Except for that tank, it's like no. The tank attack here is because this is the only infantry on the front lines. Now it can't capture anything. So it's not infantry. A Sidewinder from class. I'll note P-Dog has faked a base skip. Has the money for an infantry, but puts the Neo tank on the base to heal. Okay. The artillery. The mech. I don't know if the Sidewinder was worth this attack. Gave P-Dog very little charge. Do still get this city. Now the Neo tank's a little bit awkwardly placed. This one's like, I didn't want to be on the base. What was I thinking? There traps the tank in here. Other tank with an anti-air back here. Yeah, this looks like some pretty good walling by P-Dog. And classes, of course, down to 2, 3 infantry. Well, one's gonna die, and then one's just been built, and the other is on its way. P-Dog is down to 4 infantry and a mech. Some very forward units for class. That tank with a nice infantry blocker. Now with this anti-air here, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. With an adder power, the copter could have wrapped around, but that's no longer an option. Although I don't think there's a way to kill this guy off too. Okay, the city has been captured, and it's very annoying to take because there's no infantry around. This guy's going to be there in probably just 3 turns. Oh no, class! Oh, well, it'll be 4 turns. It could have been 3 turns if this infantry had gotten the power boost. It goes down. Anti-air striketh. You'll take dive here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to have some serious blocking so that the Neo tank doesn't just die. Looks like the Neo tank just kind of dies. Side slip. Dog. Allow for that capture. There goes the Neo tank. Right there. Diving forward. Tank finishes the anti-air. Neo tank, infantry, artillery. I'm gonna chill on this second. It doesn't quite make it. Class can power. Okay, at the end of class's turn, even in units, so P-Dog is doing good there and up 4k currently. That's pretty nice. Nothing over here to stop P-Dog from continuing the threats. Oof. We will have a power that can allow the Neo tank to get over here to kill the anti-air, so the anti-air can kill a copter. But then the Neo tank would just die, so I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, never mind. We do see it happen. But the Neo thing just dies. Yeah, I think this is GG. It did let the classmates. Or no, Lash was already in. Yeah. No anti-air over here, so this copter can stop these captures for now. If they're in the way. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I renamed class. And E-Dog is the victor. GG, that was a very wild game for sure. With an even game. Yeah, Fred got really far. Probably could have been saved. Classy game, yeah. Alright, that's going to be the end of our replay stream. I think it started more. Yeah, I mean, the adder mirror is pretty good. As long as your mirror has the ability to use both the normal power and the super power. I hope everyone enjoyed. Let's raise a toast to Fred, the bravest of us all. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your apple, and thanks for watching.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's his thing.